What's going on, everybody? We've got a lot to get into on this episode. So we've got a lot of news involving ICE. Good news. So, in case you haven't heard, an appeals court just actually ruled in favor of Trump. Major win here. Mass detention of illegals, totally fine. So, what happened is that a federal appeals court delivered this victory to Trump. Basically, it upholds his policy of mass detention, and it's of deportable illegal migrants, which all of which, if they're illegal, they're deportable. The ruling backs his authority to detain most of these individuals targeted for removal without bond, reshaping exactly how immigration enforcement is carried out nationwide, and it's about time. These people do not have rights, and this is going to hopefully pave the way for birthright citizenship at the SCOTUS level, which I think they're going to rule that, hey, look, this is an old law. If they're going to rule properly, they're going to rule this is an old law that pertains to slaves, children of slaves, descendants of slaves, to allow them to have the right to vote and be citizens and be treated as though they are citizens. It never was intended to be used the way that it is now. In fact, you can actually look up the conversation held all those years ago regarding whether or not that would be a possibility. Well, how do we know I mean, you won't like the language they use. It's very outdated and it's slightly racist. But how do we know that people from other areas of the world won't come here and misinterpret this? They came up with the phrasing the way that they did to try to avoid that, and it still got skewed and twisted. So at the end of the day, that's where we're at on that. He can hold these people en masse, get them out of here, as they've been doing, and everything is all good. Now, meanwhile, keep in mind, on the ground, this is what we're looking at. This is coming from somebody named Zigzag over there on X. Anti-ICE riders have turned on each other in Minneapolis. Leftists even started beating fellow agitators with dildos. Let's take a look at this. And nothing surprising here. They probably, the men as well, have plenty of those to go around. But as you can see, they are now doing the meme. We literally have joked that when the Civil War starts, which it's been going on for 10 years, what are they going to use? Dildos. And here they are using dildos on their own. That guy was clearly like, I'm one of you. What are you doing? Why are you so stupid? So this is their army of morons that they have. And this is how it will continue. And I'm here for it. That's some funny stuff. We've got this. This was Pam Bondi announcing what happened tonight. Our Justice Department attorneys secured yet another crucial legal victory in support of POTUS Trump's immigration agenda. The Fifth Circuit has held illegal aliens can rightfully be detained without bond, a significant blow against activist judges who have been undermining our efforts to make America safe again at every turn. Thank you to Ben Hayes, who argued this case, Brett Shumate, and DOJ Civil Division. Now, I think I pronounced this Brett guy's name correctly. I did the fancy pronunciation. If it's Shumate, then I did the fancy pronunciation of dude's name. So you're welcome, Brett. We will continue vindicating President Trump's law and order agenda in courtrooms across the country. So there you have it. It's another win, and that's what kills me about people, that these black pillars that are trying to go after Pam Bondi and act like she's not doing anything, like the DOJ's not doing anything because they're not seeing what they want. You've got to understand that it's going to take time to build these cases. I keep saying that. For like some of the deep staters and so on. We've already had 2 indictments, Comey and Letitia James, and so on. Then we had a judge tamper with those cases. We'll see what happens with that, right? But that wasn't their fault. However, when it comes to securing what you voted for, supposedly, Pam Bondi and the DOJ are winning at a near 100% rate at the appellate and Supreme Court level. And people have the nerve to complain that they're not doing anything. It's like, dude, what do you want done? It's just like with the Epstein files. Oh, they haven't arrested one pedophile. Yeah, no, they actually arrested the only two pedophiles, which would be Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. It's funny to me that the people that are screaming about victims don't listen to the victims who tell you that exact same thing, as do the prosecutors, the investigators, attorneys from both sides. Like, the mental retardation that has developed on Epstein. Now, back in the day, I bought into the information that was filling that empty void of information that we got off the internet, people's speculation, rumors, so on and so forth. I'm like, that's plausible. That could be true. And we quickly found out, though, as documents have been released over the past almost now 8 years or so, 7 years, that there's really not a lot there. Okay. They were trafficked as adults to men. There may be statute of limitations on adult female, like, prostitution, basically. We found out that a lot of these alleged victims were also trafficking, like recruiting women for money to Epstein, which is, pretty shady. And then they're like, oh, I was tricked. No, you were getting money to recruit other women into what you are now complaining about. Anyway, that's a whole nother show. Let's take a look at this. This is something that DHS has announced. This is one of the most recent arrests from 20 hours ago. Dapper Detective, good follow on X if you feel up to following somebody new on X. Let's take a listen to this clip here and see what we have.
Biloxi police making an arrest today in connection to a murder that happened about 1,600 miles away. Police say they have arrested 27-year-old Randall Satillin. He is the suspect in a murder that occurred in Tolleson, Arizona. The 18-year-old victim was found on January 28th in an apartment leased to Satillin. Authorities say he will be extradited back to Arizona, where he will be booked on charges of first-degree murder and kidnapping. Biloxi police making an arrest today in connection to a murder that happened
So these are the types of people that they're protesting in the streets to protect with their dildos. I mean, like, you can't make this stuff up. Now, I think the big news here is this here. So Homeland Security just dropped this website. DHS has launched wow.dhs.gov. So Americans can see the criminal illegal aliens we are arresting, their crimes, and the communities we've removed them from. Yesterday, ICE.gov arrested more murderers, sex offenders, and drug traffickers from American communities. But we can look in comments here, and they will drop, I'm sure. Yep, look at all these guys. This guy was arrested for, from Bronx, New York, criminal sexual act in Bronx. This guy here, criminal alien, convicted of money laundering, Texas. This guy here, Mexico, convicted of aggravated trafficking of methamphetamine and cocaine, possession of controlled substance while driving under the influence. In Oklahoma City, this one here, Pedro Zayas Rodriguez, he's an alien from Cuba, convicted of dangerous drug possession, robbery with intent to kill, maim, wound, and assault on a peace officer across 5 counties and 2 states. Jesus. And then we've got this dude here, yikes, Yu Kai Yang. He is from China. He's convicted of attempted first-degree murder, aggravated assault, simple assault, reckless endangering, Pennsylvania. So there you have it. But let's take a look at their website. They finally have released something where we can firsthand see what exactly they're doing. You can literally search by. Let me bring this up on different. Let me bring this up on the news. I've got to use different tabs because they're sized differently for my thing here. Let me bring that up. Regular news tab. There we go. There we go. And then I'll just go ahead and put this one down for now. There we go. So here we have it right here. Arrested, worst of the worst. You can search by... Wait, what? What is happening? Oh, is that working now? It's fit in. Okay. We're good. Good Lord, dude. All right, so here we have it. You can search any terms, country of origin. You're not going to be able to see the drop down box, but I am clicking it. You just won't be able to see it unless you go here. Again, it's dhs.gov/WOW. So here you have it. You've got one after another. This is just page 1. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Holy shit. Last page. What number is that? 2,084 pages, 12 per page. That's 25,008 that they've got all up on this website right now. Damn, dude. That's a lot of people, guys. That's a lot of people. So there you have it, guys. I mean, we're winning left and right. I mean, look at all these creeps. I mean, you can go on and on for 2,000 pages worth of just horrible people that are arrested. Now, these are the criminal offenders that became offenders again once they crossed illegally or got here illegally, overstayed a visa, whatever the situation was. These are people that committed further crimes. I knew he was going to be from Minnesota because of the fucking head, bro. Oh, look at that. He's Minnesota. I bet he's from Somalia. Yeah, and you can see a lot of these are in Minnesota. If you noticed on the last page, I think they just kind of been building this website as they go, maybe. But you can see a lot of the more recent ones are from Minnesota, St. Paul, Sandstone, St. Paul. And then lastly, we've got some information from Tom Homan. Let me bring that up for us really quick. Hopefully I'm logged into the ad-free. Crap, I'm not. 1 second. There we go. And next, and we will put in that, and then I'll bring up this video for us to take a look at. You've got a lot of black pillars out there. They're trying to get you to believe that now all of a sudden we're not, that Trump, Holman, and all them, they're just not fulfilling their promises. They're not doing what they said they'd do. All this nonsense, and they're just doing that to try to affect midterms, get you to stay home. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like I said in my last video from tonight, we're going to cover that. But let's bring this up really quick, and we'll take a look at what we got going on here. Something's changed, and I'm not understanding. There we go. Okay. So here's Tom Homan. He's talking to the media here about what's going on in Minnesota currently. Let's take a listen to what he has to say. We're not going to watch this whole thing because it is 28 minutes long, but I think it's important that people hear what's actually going on versus what the black pillars are trying to tell you. Listen to what he has to say about operations in Minnesota and so on.
Us three guys got just shy of 100 years in law enforcement, immigration enforcement. I worked with Ron 30 years ago in Dallas, Texas. He's been with the Border Patrol's entire career. During my press conference last week, I reported I had productive discussions with various state and local officials, including Governor, Attorney General, Mayor Frey, and law enforcement officials about increasing coordination in a lawful way between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety threats being released back in the community. While we had our differences, one thing was clear: we all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities. We have made significant progress under the direction of President Trump, working with state and local officials here in Minnesota, and I expect that to increase in the coming weeks. We continue to have discussions. I'll have discussions this afternoon. We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets.
Now, did you hear what he said? When this all first happened, when they removed Bovino and sent him back home to go do ICE operations there, I think it's in California, who I like, by the way. I think he's awesome. And he served the purpose that he needed to serve when they weren't working with ICE. Tom Homan came in and he said, look, you're going to start working with it, so this is going to keep happening. I can guarantee that's the first thing that came out of his mouth. You've got people obstructing. They're finally arresting them. The police are finally arresting them, all right, when ICE does do operations on the ground. Now, what's funny is ICE is being forced to do so few operations on the ground that, as you saw at the beginning of this video, they're now attacking each other because they really haven't known for a fact who was ICE all this time. As we've seen, they've attacked reporters, they've attacked people visiting, they've attacked just random people, they've attacked their own now. So they don't really have that hole to fill now. There's no ICE to the degree that it was operating on the ground. Sure, I'm sure there's cleanup efforts from the mess that was left before, where they're going in and they're doing targeted operations here or there. But for the most part, as he said, they're doing the right thing and they're working with federal law enforcement. Plenty of counties are doing this. And that's the way that it should have been all along. These two insurrectionists would still be alive and nobody would know their names if that's what they would have done to begin with.
Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement.
Now, you remember that was the he's literally calling out the grifters and the black pillars and all that. They were like, oh, they're pulling back. Again, it's smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. They don't need all those officers there if they're going to work with them. Now, if they, for whatever reason, get a hair up their butt and stop working with them, what do you think's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? Exactly what was happening before. That's how that's going to go down. But Minnesota, for whatever reason, was one of the hot spots for illegal migration, not from just Somalia or whatever, but from all over the world. Like, I don't know why Minnesota, but there you have it. They turned Minnesota into a shithole.
Safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. This coordination also makes it far more safe for the Twin Cities. Arresting a public safety threat in the safety and security of a jail is the safest thing.
And there you have it. I just wanted to show you that so that you could hear from Homan on what exactly is actually going on down there on the ground. So there you have it, guys. Minnesota bent the knee. Walz bent the knee. Last night we had a whole bunch of protesters outside of his house calling him out, losing their minds on him. So, I mean, what are you going to do? These people are crazy. Let me see if I can find that for you really quick in case you haven't seen it. Here we go. Let me get that brought up for you. They did this all night, if I'm not mistaken, for most of the night as well. So let me bring that up. Right here from Captive Dreamer, 23 hours ago. Leftists now protesting outside Tim Walz's mansion in St. Paul, labeling him a traitor cooperating with President Trump.
Is this the best result that Governor Tim Walz and other elected officials could come up with after meetings behind closed doors with Tom Homan? Shame!
She reminds me of the sister from that 8 Crazy Nights movie from the Too Nerdy.
Do not underestimate the power of the people of Minnesota. Is this the best result?
So there you have it, guys. And this went on. I didn't even bookmark a bunch of these just because this went on till nighttime now. You'll remember he was hanging over the fence telling these people just how wonderful they were, not even a month ago, I don't think. And then he bent the knee because, it doesn't look good for him either. So we've heard all these idiots, the black pillars and so on, come out and say, oh, Trump bent the knee. It's Trump who bent the knee. And we now know that that is not the case whatsoever. It's quite the opposite. And they're doing it the way that it should be done now, in my opinion, because now they're picking them up where they should be getting picked up, which is at the jail. They're not releasing them onto the street. And that never should have been happening to begin with. I mean, you're paying taxes to do what? To actually be less safe? And the fact that people were protesting for or advocating for that, to be less safe in their own communities because they think that it's more inclusive to these people to be less safe in your own community. It just blows my mind, y'all. Like I've never seen the mental retardation that we're seeing right now in the world, and I just, it's absolutely crazy to me that this is what we've got going on. I mean, meanwhile, we've got schools and so on. They're letting their kids protest. We had that incident where they were allowing that at the other school, and that kid got run over by the dude with the Trump flag because he was not paying attention to her jumping in front of his car during a protest. But I mean, we've got the cops out there doing their job with the protesters. We've got the jails and so on doing their job with turning over these illegals to these ICE agents so that they can get them out of our damn country, and everything seems to be fine. So I don't know why somebody would say or anything near the lines of, oh, I'm gonna, not show up in November. Or I've even seen some of these shills say they're gonna vote for Democrats and that Trump can just be impeached and so on and so forth because they didn't do this, that, or the other. I mean, dude, he's cut immigration, legal immigration, quite a bit. He's made it harder for people to come here on H-1B visas. He's literally, Biden had the record at like 400,000 some in 2023, I think it was. And Trump's cut it down to less than or just over 100,000 and we're counting Biden's term, by the way, that counted into Trump's 2025. With Biden mixed in there, the last no number that I could find, it was just over 100,000. Trump's cut it. I mean, they were upset, losing their minds over in India because it was more expensive now. How are we supposed to get there? Blah, 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 blah. And people just pretend like none of this stuff is happening to try to blackpill you and get you to stay home in the polls when it's just as important for you to show up this fall as it was in 2024. I mean, if you want to keep the country the way that it should be, then it's just as important. If you want to go back to Biden era, or worse, you want us to turn into Virginia where she takes office, lies about who she is, takes office immediately and acts over 50 taxes on the people that she promised that she was going to make it less expensive to live. Like there's electric leaf blower taxes, walking your dog taxes proposed, like all these things, guys. So with that, I will bid you farewell. Again, if you can, please like the video. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. If you could consider giving me a subscribe. I'm almost to 100, and thanks to the 99 who have taken the time out of their day to follow my dumb ass. And I will talk to you all again very, very soon.